assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Bukhair agale, ni hao, tune shumme, washmale, Ohio gozaimasu, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, hala shama chatore, ahlan wasalan marhaba, Buna, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning, alongside the very amazing, the very talented, the very smart Shiza Hashmi and Shazad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you today?
Thank you for asking. I am absolutely great. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Friday. It's finally the end of the week and we have made it through to Friday.
And finally, Shiza has actually not given back the same question which I
That's
asked
what I
her.
was trying to
So
do.
so I think that's great. So how was it yesterday? And we are on a newer set as well.
Yes,
How do you feel?
absolutely. I absolutely feel great. We opened this out on Wednesday when you were not here, but we missed you absolutely. And I am actually absolutely loving this set because of the colors and everything. It contrasts with everything. But yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, we shared a show with you that we shot outside in I-8 Kachnar Park. And we loved filming it for you, and we hope you guys loved watching it as well. I actually got quite some amazing responses from all of you.
I think that's great, and a lot of people even texted me too as well that you should actually be doing such amazing things as well. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I actually want to pledge for all my producers and my bosses that we seriously want to go to North because we definitely have a guest who's actually going to speak about being in North over here within Pakistan as well. Yeah. And this is the kind of shows which we want to do, and we'll definitely keep on bringing them to you as well. So thank you very much for all the feedback. But before we get started, top stories coming up. Let's see what do we have to share with you guys today. Yeah. Good morning.
Well, to start with, Prime Minister Imran Khan has directed to promote paperless culture in offices and e-governance in the country. He was chairing a meeting on information technology and telecommunication in Islamabad on Thursday.
I think that's great. And then everything will be on record too. Moving on, the Prime Minister tasked Dr. Ishrat Hussain to formulate. Okay, moving on, where Pakistan Cricket Board unveiled the logo of Pakistan and Australia series, which will commence on October 7th with first test between two sides at United Arab Emirates. Well, let me take a look at the logo. That's nice. So I think everybody's excited about the Pakistan and Australia series too as well, ladies and gentlemen, as we are a cricketing nation. But now coming down to what we are talking about today.
But before that, I am just so very happy. Well, I am going to say and believe that the winter has started. But don't take my word, I'm not in the Met department or anything. I feel like it has, and I'm absolutely loving it.
I think I'm good. I'll have to agree to you as well, because on Wednesday I was in Lahore, and on Thursday, which was yesterday, I was coming back from Lahore, and which is why I had to miss out for one day. Yeah. I'm sorry for that, for all those people who missed me. But other than that, in Lahore, it's still actually summers. It's quite hot as well, because if you leave the car parked outside any restaurant or anywhere, once you're going to come back, it'll be hard for you to sit down in the car if you've got leather seat covers. Oh, God. So that's different. I think everybody's gone through that feeling as well. Yeah. But as soon as I entered Islamabad, and Islamabad was, was surrounded by gusty winds, and, the winds were very strong too as well last night. One of my kitchen windows broke too. Oh, God. And, I just got scared all of a sudden that what actually happened. But so in the morning, my mother told me that the window was already loose and we were trying to fix it. But unfortunately, this happened. And I don't know why, but people over here in Pakistan say that whenever glass or a mirror breaks, it is supposed to be good omen. Now,
it is?
Yeah, I don't know why, but, that's what they say. But let these things be aside, ladies and gentlemen, because today I think our show is in line with the first ever headline we shared with you guys, where Prime Minister Imran Khan has directed to promote paperless culture in offices and e-governance in the country.
That's true. Sorry, I was sort of zoned out. But ladies and gentlemen, just a few years back when I was in my school, a lot of years back when I was in my school, we started studying that the world is becoming a global village, right? Yeah. And eventually we also started studying that it is actually becoming a tech-based global village as well, which is true. One of the most rapidly progressing sectors of any country is lately IT. Exactly. And did you know that lately, from the latest surveys that we have, 1% of the GDP was contributed by the IT sector, which roughly contributes to, I don't know how many thousand.
$3 billion,
oh, God, okay, $3 billion to the Pakistani GDP, roughly more or less. So we're hoping to increase that by 30% in the coming 5 years. How amazing is that?
I think that is amazing, but still at this very point, Shiza, I think what we need to consider is that a lot of countries have progressed quite a lot in terms of information technology, and we do
Yes.
not even have to go far away. I think let's talk about India.
Okay.
All of the amazing software houses, all of these different brands, they are actually coming down to India to operate in India, and that particular reason is that they actually get all of those engineers which they require, may them be software engineers, electrical engineers, or whatever kind of engineers they require. First things first, India has been producing that talent, and then other than that, I think that they have surpassed all of these people within the parameters of South Asia.
Okay.
But now coming down to Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about information technology, so I want to give away the very basic definition of what information technology is.
Okay.
So do you know what information technology
Well,
is?
enlighten me.
Okay, so information technology, ladies and gentlemen, is that, by the use of computer, you basically retrieve information, and then you give away information, and then you manipulate data. This is what we call information technology.
Yeah.
But manipulating over here is definitely in all of the positive terms. Recently, we have witnessed in Pakistan that 4G came over here, and now the Information Technology Ministry is working on 5G licenses too as well.
Yes.
So in days to come, there will be quite a lot of new job opportunities for people, and we have witnessed that there has been a lot of jobs which have been created within the information technology industry.
Well, that's great, that you've mentioned that we are probably soon going to have the 5G technology as well. But university that I study in is actually Tech Smart University. Everywhere and anywhere I go, I'm actually, open to use the Wi-Fi and everything. I'm connected to the world anywhere and everywhere. And I cannot wait to imagine a Pakistan where that's actually going to happen. Everywhere in every corner,
but
right?
this is not one thing which we should actually be talking about. I think that one thing which we need to be talking about is that earlier when we ever had to do groceries for our houses, we always used to, wait for probably, if the father's going to come back from his work, everybody's going to load in the car, go to the grocery store, and then do all my groceries or, the house groceries. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, from our groceries to our clothes, from our clothes, shoes to our food, from our food to whatever parts we want for our cars or whatever clothes we want, everything is online. Everything is working with the help of information technology. And how overseas can actually play their role, this is something which we'll be focusing on. How many jobs have they created? We have shared a lot of success stories over here on the show. But today, there's somebody who's actually going to enlighten us the role of overseas Pakistanis in terms of building the information technology sector over here within Pakistan. So on my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by Mr. Usman Naeem, who is actually an IT software engineer himself as well, and he's a telecom expert. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's great to have you over here today.
I'm very happy
So
to
we're
be
talking
here.
about information technology. Now, generally, when we talk about information technology, what is the first thing which comes up to your head that, okay, this is what we're talking about?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is, like you said, computers,
Yeah.
mobile phones, maybe WhatsApp these days is very popular, social media.
Yes.
So I think those things come to mind right away
Right.
for the general public because those are things that are visible to them. But there's a lot that goes in the background,
That's true.
which people like us in the telecom and IT sector strive for.
And
So
this is what we wanted to talk about as well, that, since you've mentioned that there's quite a lot which goes back, what are those things? Because, we are on the front, we are the users.
Yeah.
Then there are the makers as well. So how does it all work? And do you think that overseas can play an important role in the information technology sector development?
So I think overseas Pakistanis are already playing a big role for Pakistan as well as globally. There are a lot of Pakistani origin research scientists, professionals, engineers, business leaders. A lot of companies have C-levels which are from Pakistan origin. So they are doing their part. I personally know a lot of overseas Pakistani that choose to do business in Pakistan, especially have their back offices, which
But why
creates.
is that? So is it because we have the resources? Is it because we have produced the people who know the art of doing that?
Right. So I think number one is, I think it's the love of our country.
Absolutely.
I think overseas Pakistanis do like to bring back
definitely, yes.
business as well as know-how into the country. The second factor I think is that definitely we are very rich in terms of human resources.
Yeah.
And so far we also have a cost advantage as well. So if I want to develop a software or some other technology let's say in the US or Europe, the cost is, at least perhaps 4 or 5 times more just in terms of human resources. So we still have that edge as well.
But that's great. But I feel like we're sort of looking at the positive picture over here, because I personally know a lot of people who have studied computer sciences, and they are brilliant people. I mean, I listen to them, I look at their work, and I'm blown away because I don't know any of that, right? But I feel like they don't have the perfect, or let's say a suitable or conducive environment to work in. They are working in probably some smaller companies inside Pakistan, but they are, they belong to the foreign investors. They're not Pakistani companies. Or what most of them do is they go abroad and practice what they've learned. Why so? I mean, should we be expecting them to stay here in the future? Are we probably building them and providing them with the infrastructure that they need?
I think what it boils down to is opportunity. I think every human being is designed to aspire, have ambitions, and go after more and more opportunities.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely.
And so I think it is up to the, I guess, the environment here to keep them interested, keep them challenged, have the opportunities in place, so then we can retain the talent, we can retain the revenue, we can retain, the client base.
Okay,
that's great. But at the same time, we've witnessed that a lot of imports have been made in terms of softwares. For all those people who are merchandisers, for all those people who are suppliers, for all those people who are within the businesses, and to develop these softwares, they actually have to, initially they have to probably consult somebody abroad as well, or an organization or a software house that okay, these are the kind of softwares we require. But now moving on to the latest softwares, yes, we know it that we are not the global leaders. So don't you think that it's going to have quite a lot of impact on our trade too as well if we keep on, importing different softwares? Or do we have duties? We do not have duties. How does it work?
I think it sort of also boils down to how much investment you want to make. So if you want to go after next generation software, next generation technology, what it boils down to how much as a country or as an industry in Pakistan we can invest.
Okay.
So I believe there is a capital shortage in terms of trying to make the investment. So for example, in my experience, let's say in a year we'll do about 50 proof of concepts on new ideas.
Okay.
I think less than 5 we would consider productization.
Okay.
And when they go to that stage, maybe only 1 or 2 would actually come out as a product or as a new software. So if you think about it, if you spend human resource and other investment for 50 projects that did not go anywhere and turn out into a product, maybe 1 or 2 turned out. So think about the upfront investment.
Yeah.
But I know obviously you see that facades of it, which we don't see because you are in the industry and you're working on it. But I'm just imagining, I mean, look at all the softwares that let's talk about the learning systems in schools and universities that we're using, in hospitals, management systems, right? And in other companies as well. If we start producing them all locally, imagine the income that we're going to have annually. Isn't that amazing? And which is great, But I was seeing an animated movie of Pakistan recently. It's called Alayar and the Legend of Markhor.
Yeah.
And I was stunned to see that there's a production company called Third World Productions. This is not an ad. This is actually an appreciation of the work that they've done. And they all produce the graphics and the animation, everything locally inside Pakistan. It's beautiful, you guys. If you haven't watched it, you should go and watch it.
Exactly, and even talking about that, ladies and gentlemen, information technology, I think, has been one of those sectors where the brain drain has played a major role as well. Because half of my friends who were software engineers or who were into computers or who were IT engineers, nowadays I think a few of them are in Silicon Valley. They got very lucky. A few of them are in Sweden. A few of them are in Hungary. I mean, elsewhere. So they're all scattered because they wanted to work for firms where they could see their future.
Right.
So in relation to that, do you think that we'll be able to build firms where we can compete with the multinationals or the standards the world has to share with everybody else?
So I think competing with multinationals perhaps should not be the aspiration or our objective.
At this point. No.
At this point.
Yeah.
So I think the key point, and perhaps that's the beauty of the private sector, is that they can take things on their own.
Yeah.
Right? That's very important. So that's why in Pakistan you'll see in the last decade or so entrepreneurship is being promoted. Entrepreneurship is an interesting area.
Yeah.
Not everybody is an entrepreneur.
But I think this term is overused now, So
It
wherever
is.
you go, we'll talk about entrepreneurs.
Right.
The very first time I heard the word when I was in my university, I was like, wow, what a word in a vocabulary. But when nowadays people just use this word over and over again, I don't know why. I
Well,
mean,
I
it's,
just
it's
want
just
to.
like people using the same word that, Pakistan's majority of the population is youth. So youth, we are using a lot of that word too as well. And then soft projection of the country, soft
Soft
projection of the
image.
country, soft image projection of the country. I mean, these are the words which have been overused, but I think that we haven't really understood the meaning of these words and haven't really applied them in our lives too as well. How do you think we can do that?
I disagree, but please carry on.
Right.
You
So
disagree.
the point I was making is that not everybody is an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I agree the words, these are buzzwords, they are thrown around.
Yeah.
So let's keep that aside for a second. But entrepreneurship is very key because it will open up new segments that we may not be thinking about.
Okay.
And that's why I keep saying everybody is not an entrepreneur, because everybody is not going to sit down and disassociate themselves from the norms,
Exactly.
from the daily routine and whatnot, and then think, okay, where can I innovate, right? Where can I bring in some creativity? My experience being abroad is that in those countries, people are true entrepreneurs. They think how to innovate, they think how to create, how to do creativity. And I think that element is here in Pakistan.
Okay.
I think our people somehow are naturally inclined towards entrepreneurship.
Or innovation.
Innovation. I
Yeah.
mean, you have to. That's where innovation comes from, right?
Right.
But the capital factor is a little bit tricky here right now. So
Okay, I
once the
get it.
capital factor, I think is resolved, I think you'll see new technologies, new software come out of this entrepreneurship.
But that's great.
I
But you disagree, right? Where I said that we
You
use
overuse
these
of the
buzzwords
words,
quite a
yes,
lot. So
absolutely.
why do you disagree?
Because, okay, when you say you've heard entrepreneurship a lot, I agree with you. Probably every person I meet or well, let's say at least 5 out of 10 person I've heard are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But they are running their businesses on small scale, probably from their houses, probably from some small, I don't know, cottage industries or something. Isn't that great? I mean, why do you have to probably question it? Because I've seen it happening. It's not that we've overused it, it's just that we're growing. Before you disagree with that, there's just one thing. So
I didn't disagree. I think you made a correction, and thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
See, that's how we do it.
Yeah.
that's
Now, I
good.
would just like to add,
Sure.
you made a very good point here. I met a gentleman here just last week, and he's in the food industry, catering, restaurant, whatnot. And after he gained some experience, he's gone independent. He started his own restaurant.
Isn't that amazing?
It's and in less than a year, he has a restaurant.
Oh, wow.
He's running cafeterias here. He's providing catering services,
That's great.
right? So, I mean, obviously there was a capital influx which helped him.
Definitely.
But my point is that entrepreneur mindset has to be there.
But how much capital is required to invest in a business where there are lesser duties? Because Pakistan is actually one of those fields where you can actually come in, invest in the industry as well, and there are lesser taxes, there's lesser costs.
Yeah.
So why do you think that we're still even talking or worried about capital investments?
I think there's a little bit of nervousness
Okay.
in terms of economic growth, perhaps the political stability. I mean, these things all play a factor.
I think we're politically stable now as well. There are no
We'd like to believe
terrorism.
that.
There are no issues of terrorism as well.
I agree.
We're a safer country. So now, what's stopping the foreign direct investment to come in?
No. So I think you made a good point, and I agree that in the last, in my opinion, in the last 5 or so years,
Yes.
stability is coming back. But you have to remember, you take decades to build something,
That's true.
right? And you take, a clap of the hand to
destroy it,
damage
right.
it, right? So I think it will take some time. So we have to be patient.
Well, I agree with that. We have to be patient, but we've been talking about how we need to bring people to start working, to bring innovation ideas. But okay, that's what we need to do, and probably we are on to it. Let's talk about the future, probably 5 years down the lane. So in 2013, a rough number of the people who subscribed to broadband were 3.7 million in Pakistan. And by last year, it rose to 44.3 million, over 44.3 million. So in the future also, we're expecting a lot of people to come to this side and, utilize the services that people are offering. So 5 years down the lane, what are we seeing? I mean, in the IT sector of Pakistan?
Right. So, talking about broadband, I think we've just scratched the surface. I think once 5G kicks in,
Okay.
and some of the similar technologies come in, we'll be able to tap into the rural areas. I think rural areas we have not tapped
Some
into.
some are untouched, yes.
Some are, but not entirely. And then you have to also remember the performance and capacity, and those things are not there. So when technologies like 5G come in, and there's a rollout in Pakistan for that, that will open up massive connectivity.
Okay.
And this number you just quoted, I think we just scratched the surface.
Yes. Oh, okay, that's great. But ladies and gentlemen, just a little comparison of where we are in terms of information technology is that the leading countries, are probably, what they have done is that they have given free Wi-Fi throughout the country. So now just imagine that the level of connectivity they're going to have and the usage of information technology. Whereas over here in Pakistan, we still talk about rural areas who do not even get coverage of telephone signals. So this is the distance which we really need to cover.
Yeah.
Inshallah, we will. We are on the right path as well. We just need more investors to come in. We need overseas Pakistanis to play their role. And there are quite a lot of leverages which you're going to get just to invest in the information technology sector. And it's just like that the duties are lesser on electric cars over here in Pakistan.
Exactly.
So, this is how we are progressing, and I think that the policy making is in line too as well. So thank you very much, sir, for being with us. It was lovely to have you to talk about information technology early in the morning, where, we are gadget freaks using Snapchat all day long, and everybody wants likes which look like 2.4K likes and 1.2K shares. Everybody's in that. There's like farming, and there's so many different businesses just within these platforms that you cannot even imagine. All you have to do is tap and let it open up, and you will learn gradually, because if we are not going to learn these technologies, I think we'll be way back in the time we are living.
Absolutely, that's true. And so before we move on to our second segment, we shortly head out to a short break. No, we will actually right now head out to a short break. And when you come back, we're going to talk about something interesting that we usually talk about a lot, but this is sort of different, and you will find out why.
Yes, and it has to do a lot with information technology, because if it
Okay.
didn't exist, I don't think that people will be able to travel a lot.
That is true.
All right, let's
Stay
do it.
tuned.
Let's take a break.
Good morning. Welcome back to World This Morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching PTV, and for all those who just joined in, sorry.
Why are you laughing?
Because they're obviously watching PTV, that's why we're on. Anyway, for all those who just joined in, the first segment was about the rapidly progressing IT sector of Pakistan, and we sort of touched all aspects of what we need to do. We try to, yes, in the next 5 years for Pakistan to become the emerging IT of the world.
Exactly. And before heading towards the break, ladies and gentlemen, I told you that information technology, all of these applications, Airbnb, and a lot of other are available too as well, and they help you to fulfill your dream of traveling the world. And this is what we have done today as well, that we've actually invited somebody who has been traveling for the last 10 years.
Wow.
And, she made a list of all the countries she wanted to travel. And Pakistan was never on that list too as well. So she just came back last night she came back from the north of Pakistan. Yeah. Me and Shiza, we brag about it quite a lot that we haven't been to the north. So, I think what we do best is that we see the north from somebody else's eye as well and enjoy it to the most as well. But finally, she's in Pakistan, after all of these years when she wasn't even willing to come to Pakistan. What brought her to Pakistan? I think information technology will play a very important role in that too as well. And why is she traveling? What's the purpose behind it? How does she manage to travel so many countries? Because this is the 35th country she's been to. So, ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side, we have been joined by Akmal Sharif, who is a Malaysian traveler. Salamat datang.
Thank you so much.
there's one more to my list, ladies and gentlemen. Salamat datang.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank
How
you
are you guys?
We are absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. First things first. So you've been traveling for the last 10 years, and within 10 years, you have been to 35 countries, and this is your 35th one.
Yeah.
And why wasn't Pakistan on the list, and how did it become a part of the list?
Okay, firstly, I'm sorry for not having Pakistan on
No,
my
it's
list
all right.
before.
You
Cool,
find
but
it
we
in
need to know
Pakistan.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not really exposed to the other part of the world.
Or well conceived by other people, let's say.
Even though that, we almost have 1 million people visiting Malaysia almost every month. Even then,
See,
you
providing
like we
with
weren't
labor.
exposed. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see Pakistanis everywhere in my hometown also, Kuala Lumpur. But in terms of visiting Pakistan, even when I finally made it my list, and I told my friends that I'm going, and they were like, "Why Pakistan? Are you sure you're going to be safe there?" And all those, people don't know what is Pakistan is all about, and I myself, obviously. Didn't want to even go here, not because I do not want to. It's not about the safety factor, or because I wasn't exposed.
Okay.
Until one day in one of the Facebook newsfeed, I saw beautiful pictures, and I thought, where is this? This is unreal. This is surreal. And it was Gilgit-Baltistan areas.
Wow. And you've been there now?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Tell us
it's
about your experience.
better than the pictures.
But I think before we talk about the experiences, I
Okay.
want to know the name of the countries, all 35 countries you've been to.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my God. I actually have the list in my handphone.
Well,
but
quite some that you can remember.
For Europe, I've done Italy, England.
Okay, so all of Europe almost.
Like maybe you can say about half.
Okay. So not Bosnia or Herzegovina.
No, but
Alright.
mostly all Southeast Asia.
Okay.
Wow.
Because I live around there.
Yeah.
And this November will be my the last Southeast Asia country. I will be visiting Myanmar.
Okay.
Also not a good repo for tourism.
Yeah.
But I'm going anyway.
Wow.
So that will be my complete Southeast Asia countries. And Pakistan, India.
So who's going to do your work,
You've
in
been to India? Oh, well, that's
so
great.
who's going to do your work in the office? Because if you'll keep on traveling, who's going to sell all of those insurance policies? I mean, come on. Because we believe in working and then taking 30 days off and visiting one country at a time in one whole year. So how do you
30 days
manage?
is a lot.
So how do you manage to do that?
The one thing about being a life insurance agent is the flexibility of time.
That you can sell it to anybody all around the globe.
No. We have some strict policies.
Okay.
But it's just that when you want to you know you'll take a leave for 16 days for this case.
Right.
Before, I was working so hard to cover all the days that
you're gonna
I'm
miss.
off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that. It's based on quantities. It's all numbers.
Okay.
Right.
You can cover the whole month's target
In 1 week, probably.
in 1 week. Yeah, if you work
Okay.
that hard.
Okay, so you've been to 35 countries. Can you talk about some of the most interesting things that you've carried along with you from any country? It can be languages, it can be culture, whatever.
I think
Or
the
did you make friends? Were you
Yes.
building up relationships? What was it?
It's not really a specific countries that I
Okay.
want to tell you about, but by traveling, that's why I travel. We cannot have the experience when we are traveling, when we are sitting in our own countries,
Right, right.
and that's why also I always travel alone.
Okay.
Because if we are traveling with someone from Malaysia, like me, okay, let's say I'm bringing a friend from Malaysia, we are going to talk about Malaysian issues,
Yeah.
gossip about our friends.
And you don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want that because I want
Because
to
you want
know
to
people.
Yeah, get away from that.
Yes, I want to know the experience, the cultures, the activities. I'm really, really into going to a place and have local experiences.
So let's talk about
Yeah,
Pakistan
okay.
now. So you
Okay.
came to Pakistan and you went to Gilgit-Baltistan straight away.
Yes.
Because those were the places you wanted to visit.
Yeah.
Now let us know, what have you learned in terms of culture, in terms of people, in terms of hospitality, in terms of food? For how many days have you been to which places? You know, let's get a detailed overview of
And
your
did it actually change your idea of what you thought about Pakistan before?
I didn't have any idea about Pakistan before,
Before.
except for the labors in Malaysia.
Except for not knowing
Like
that you'll be
everyone
visiting.
was wearing the shawal kameez.
Yes.
Shalwar
yeah.
kameez, yes.
And but the people here, that I think that is your most treasured point, is like
They're warm.
not only
Good looking?
warm, but of course, okay, good looking,
Yeah.
but your hearts,
Yeah.
your hospitality is so out of.
Thank you
stop
very
it.
much.
Yes,
Oh, you're going to make us cry. Come on.
No, maybe
that's-
some say.
We're
oh,
glad you felt that.
Yes, maybe some say, oh, because she's a solo lady traveling and she got all the attention. But no, I think it's really sincere. It was really sincere. Every single soul that I meet here, all beautiful.
And what did you eat? So for all of these days while you were traveling, what did you eat?
Okay, my favorite food now. Oh my God, I have
Don't
a
say
favorite
biryani.
no,
Go on.
palau.
Palau, yeah, it's close. So biryani is actually the sister of palau.
Yeah.
Palau is the brother.
Yeah, biryani's the
Oh.
fancy one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm more a simple girl.
Yeah.
So palau is my choice now.
That's great.
And kahari,
Nihari?
Kadahi.
Kadahi.
Yeah.
Chicken kadahi?
mutton karahi.
Mutton
wow.
kadahi.
I love this
Wow.
girl.
You're on point. You're on point. What next?
Basically, that is my
Raita, salad,
favorite.
naan.
Pardon?
Right.
Lots of naan, lots of chapatis,
Yeah.
lots of. You know one thing about the difference between us is you can eat rice and the bread.
Chapati, yeah.
At the same time.
At the same time.
I do that.
We can't.
I mean, Shiza can actually eat rice with chapati.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and my mother
Rice
does
is
that too as well at
rice,
times.
Chapati is chapati.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
meetha rice as well, you know, sweet rice. You know, people even eat that with chapati over here.
Obviously, it's the best.
And
Yeah,
peop-
but it's a new experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can't really do that.
Okay, take your time, you'll end up
Yeah.
liking it.
But which places did you go to in Gilgit-Baltistan?
Okay. I would love to tell you because you haven't, obviously.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry to
Sorry.
point it out again.
Decided it earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
I went to Fairy Meadows.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
Beautiful, out of
Breathtaking.
this world. Yes, and I still miss it until now, and I will miss it ever, I think. And the pictures, the two pictures that made me want to visit Pakistan, like I literally booked the ticket right away after these two pictures.
Okay.
Pictures of Fairy Meadows and pictures of Atabat Lake.
So can we please share pictures of Fairy Meadows and Attabad Lake? You know, if we'll just Google simply, I think we'll be able to
Yeah.
find them as well. Meanwhile, she's talking about her
Yeah.
voyage experiences. So Attabad Lake and Fairy Meadows. Okay, two
Yes.
places. Then where did you move next?
Okay, not Atabet Lake first. First is Fairy Meadows, and I moved north to Nalta Valleys.
Okay.
And how were you commuting in
Yeah,
between
that's what I
the
was going to
cities?
ask.
Okay, it's by public.
Public transport?
Yeah,
Right,
Okay.
right.
not really public, like a car that we shared.
A
Okay,
group of
makes
people.
sense.
Yeah, a group
Right,
of people, and I also have hosts that accommodate me
Okay.
throughout my journey. Like I use a lot of couch surfing, if you know that.
No,
Is
go
it
ahead,
like-
share.
Couch
Hitchhiking?
surfing is basically
Couch surfing, yeah, I know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So two places,
And people
three
host you.
places couch surfing, and one is for the homestay that in Ahapahunza with.
And this
a
is
guy
one thing I
called Rahman.
want to ask even as well, because in the West we see a lot of couch surfers, and it's
Yeah.
safe as well.
Yeah.
So for a country which was not on your list, and it was eventually on your list then, and you decided to do couch surfing, so that means that you were so satisfied with the people that you knew that everything's secure and everything's going to be safe for you. Is that how it is?
No, to be honest, no. I just try my luck
Okay.
and be confident. That's the most important thing.
That is true.
They are scared of confident women. They can't do anything.
Yeah, and I think, and you know what? This is a strong message for everybody out there as
Yes.
well, for every lady out
And
there.
it's so true, though.
That a lady who's full of confidence, I don't think that she's got anything to lose as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
All you need to do
No
is
fear.
that just keep on standing, no fear at all. Okay, so moving on now. Where are we going now?
So after Nalta Valleys, obviously to Hunza area. So I went to Karimabad, Upper Hunza, where there are
Beautiful.
Pasu,
Yeah.
Gulkin village, and back to Islamabad.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
how long was the trip?
I think total 12 days in the north.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that if we are going to show you the pictures again, you might
you-
even feel like going back?
I can go back now.
So okay, do we have the pictures ready? Producers, please, if we do have the pictures ready, please put them on the screen, because we want to see Fairy Meadows and Atabad Lake. So we
Because
figured-
you've never been there.
we have never been there, and this is how we want to do it too as well. Okay,
Yeah.
now so next on your list
you-
is
yeah.
which country?
In November, I'll go to Myanmar
Yeah. You just
Myanmar,
told
yes,
us.
that's
for the
something-
Bagan.
Okay.
And next year, maybe I'm
Do
going
you also
to-
plan on doing? Okay, I don't know if I should be asking it this. Do you also plan on doing some community service over there, Myanmar?
No, for this time.
Okay, it's okay. That's cool. So, but have you learned some words or a little bit of some Urdu? Urdu is Pakistani languages, by the way. Have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Of course, shukriya.
Shukriya. कैसी हैं आप?
And also, awa.
Wawa.
Wawa,
Wawa. Wawa means superb. And we can teach you a little bit more too as well.
Okay. What do you want to learn?
I want to learn that
Anything basic.
I'm not good in. I don't speak Urdu. How do you say that? Because
मुझे उर्दू नहीं आती. मुझे
that's-
Okay, let's try.
Okay.
मुझे
मुझे
उर्दू
Urdu
नहीं
नहीं
means no. आती.
ati.
Yeah. Ati means I don't know Urdu.
Mujhe means me, right?
I think that's very good.
Okay.
Yeah. So मुझे
मुझे
is me.
मुझे Urdu नहीं आती.
Yes,
Just say it
that's
to everyone
it.
you meet. They're not
Yes.
going to talk to you. in Urdu.
Obviously, because I've heard so much.
But there's this one thing which you need to realize, and you'll face problems that when you're going to tell people that मुझे उर्दू नहीं आती, and that too is in Urdu, people will be like, but you're already speaking Urdu.
Yeah,
so,
you'd be like, this
how
is the
can you
only
even say
sentence I
मुझे
know.
उर्दू नहीं आती?
No, because sometimes people can say no, I'm no English, so it's like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because people has been approaching me in Urdu.
Okay.
Maybe I look a bit Pakistani.
Oh, you do
would you
have
I
say?
mean,
some
you don't have to
traditional
make that
features,
face.
yes.
Pakistani people are good too as well.
Good looking,
Probably Pakistani. Okay, so what have you learned by being in all of these 35 different countries, meeting so many different people? Because this is what we believe over here, that if you sit down with people who do not belong to your age category, if you roam around with people who are not of the same color of your skin, and if you meet people from different places and countries, you grow in a very different and in a
Yes.
beautiful manner. So
Yeah.
what have you learned? That gist of being in 35 countries for all our amazing viewers out there.
What I learned so far for traveling is it's really, really not how the media will portray sometimes. Like Pakistan, you know, Pakistan is not portrayed at its best
Yeah.
in medias. And
Foreign media, yes.
yeah, foreign media, and it's totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different. It's a nice country, beautiful views, beautiful people, and it's not going to be shown or known to the world unless they travel.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
true. But do you feel like you've grown as a person? Are you different than you were as before? I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
you're probably more independent. You love being alone.
Yeah. Not love being alone, but it's like when you travel, you will face a lot of difficulties
Right, right.
because you don't have anywhere. Like
Yeah.
sometimes things happen that you need to solve immediately.
On your
you're-
own.
Yeah, on my own. So analytical skill, communication skill definitely went up.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. Thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely
Thank
to
you for
have
this
you on the show.
opportunity.
And next time,
our
whenever
pleasure.
you're back in Pakistan, we're definitely going to have you over here and ask you a lot more about the difficulties you faced. Sorry, we were short of time.
Oh, it's okay.
But the pictures are ready, ladies and gentlemen. Fairy Meadows it is, and it's weekend, so anybody who wants to enjoy the weekend with their family, they can do it. Look at this.
Yes.
I've never
Wow.
been camping, man.
I mean, look at the view. So it's green over here and it's all white on the top.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We don't get that in Malaysia.
And this is Atabad Lake, I guess.
Is it? It's still
This
very
is
middle.
once
This is
again
Fairy
Fairy Meadows.
Meadows,
Look
yeah.
at the reflection
Yes.
in the water too as well.
Actually,
Wow.
this reflection pond is my go-to picture.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This is
And this is
Atabad.
Atabad Lake,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. And look at the water. It must
you
be
know-
very cold out there.
It is.
Wow,
And
fabulous.
from what I've heard, this is not a natural lake. It was formed after the
Yeah.
earthquake.
Earthquake,
Yes,
yes.
that's right too as well. But thank you very much, Akiba.
Thank you so
Salamat
much.
Datang. And it was good to have you on the show too as well. Thank you very much once again. Keep on traveling.
Thank you so
Sorry.
much.
And make sure that all your dreams come true as well.
Absolutely.
All the best for your
For
future
all those out there,
endeavors.
ladies and gentlemen, there's this very special day that we're observing today across the globe, I guess. It's Teachers' Day.
Yes.
And on this occasion, I want to thank and probably pay a tribute through my words to all the teachers that have been through with me through all my school years, my university, college years as well, because they are the people who actually shaped me. And actually, I feel like parents are the first teachers.
Parents are definitely parents will be your teachers for the rest of your life
Yeah,
too
that's
as well. But I think teachers who put in a lot of extra work is or can be seen in the way we talk, in the way we sit, in the way we behave.
They
But
groom you, yes.
and I think we should always be thankful to all of our teachers because when we were kids, we probably were very naughty. We didn't study and a lot of things. But we still managed to do that, and it was because of our teachers. Please make sure that you respect them. And there are only two people in the England whom they actually label as sir.
Yeah.
One of them is teachers, and the other is doctors too as well. It is one of those professions that have changed the lives of millions too as well.
Absolutely,
And I'm going to say a word. I mean, I have a lot of amazing teachers in my life, but there's one person I want to thank in general. And he used to be the head of department in my university, because if he wouldn't have been there, I don't think that I would still be able to get a degree. So his name was Aiju Shad Saab, and he was a PhD scholar. So Dr. Saab, wherever you are, may you be blessed, and all of our friends, when we sit together, we thank you for giving us one of the bestest degrees in the world too as well, and for teaching us who we are.
Well, that's great. Okay, very quickly, if you have anything to add to our conversation, or write to us on our Facebook page, which is the name of
Well, this morning.
Twitter.
Well, this morning without a G.
YouTube Dailymotion.
Well, this morning.
And the repeat is going to be
5
at
past 11 p.m.
Yeah, till then, ladies and gentlemen, take care. We'll see you on Monday next.
1, 2, 3.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.